Hi everybody, we're going to go over the image trace for color images in this video. So you can find a colored image that you want to use, or you can grab this strawberry which is on canvas. You can either file place it, no, mine's already in there, but you have the option to file place it. Sorry, it would be, where is it? Mine might be blacked out because I already put it in here. But you could file place something, you could copy paste it in, or you could just drag it from the desktop as well. But here we are. Let's have our strawberry. So you have the option for image trace down here, but I would say instead of doing this, let's go up to window, and actually pull out our hold on, window, trace, there we go. Okay, so you should get a window like this. Yours might pop in looking more like this. So just press this arrow and you'll get the advanced menu. Alright, and before I even start, I like to press my preview button because I like to see my live updates. Alrighty, so it's already on default of black and white, but we're going to want to go to the mode and change it to color because we're working in color. And then right down here, we have it set for 30 colors. We for this demo, we're just going to do 4. So you can either type in the number 4 right here, or you can slide down to whatever number you want. In this case, 4. And it's a live updating for us right here. Alright, so we're going to just leave paths the way it is. Let's bring our corners down to about 2%. Again, you can just put it in if you want to. And we're going to bring our noise up to 100%. And as I'm making these edits, it's doing the live trace. So I don't have to actually hit this trace button unless you don't have your preview clicked, in which case you will have to do trace. So it's sort of already traced at this point, but what we do need to do is hit the expand button. So you should have the expand button here. If you don't, just go up to object and hit expand, but they do the same thing. So once you have your settings the way you want them, click expand, and what that does is it's going to basically separate the layers for you. Almost separate them. We have one more step to do. If I hit Command Y, now I can see I have all these little anchor points around the different colors. Alright, the next step we're going to have to take is I want my colors separated, but they're not quite yet. So if I try to grab the color, it's not working. So I can hit this to ungroup them, which will do that. Sorry. Should be, thank you, doing this. Good. If you don't have this down here, when you click on the image, just go over to properties right there and click ungroup. And if for some reason you don't have the properties here, go to window, scroll down to properties. Alright, but so we're going to go over here, make sure you click ungroup. If that ungroup option isn't showing for you, make sure you have selected the actual image. Okay, so you'll know because it'll be outlined in blue. At this point, it should be ungrouped, and I should be able to grab each color separately. Now I'm going to show you how to basically get this ready for vinyl. So if we're thinking of layering vinyl, that means literally the different pieces of vinyl are going to get cut out and then placed on top of each other. So I'm just going to delete my blue background and only focus on the strawberry, just to make it a little bit more simple. So if I'm thinking of the vinyl, what I want to do is I want to create a base for my overall image here. So I want to, if I'm looking at this, I've got 3 colors. So I'm thinking I'm going to have 3 different pieces of vinyl, which means I already know that I'm going to have 3 different layers, because if we think of the vinyl in terms of layers, so each layer equals a different color of vinyl. But what I want to do is I want to create a base layer / vinyl for everything to sit on top of physically. So before I do anything else, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make a copy of this. So I'm just going to grab that layer and I'm going to drag it down to this plus mark. It's going to make a copy. So I'm going to take this one and I'm just going to lock it and hide it. That way, if anything gets messed up, I always have a safety version. Okay, so now I've got this, and I'm actually going to make one more copy, and you'll see why in just a minute. But it looks like we're going to have 3 layers. One is our safety, in case anything gets messed up. One is one we're going to work with right now. This one, we're just going to hide. So let's work with this. And this one's going to become my base layer, my very bottom. I'm going to call this one dark red / base. You can name it however you want, but in terms of what's happening, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be my dark red layer, and it's also going to be my base layer. Alrighty, so I'm going to click on this. I'm going to grab everything, all the layers, the three different colors. I'm going to go over to my Properties tab, and I'm going to go down to Pathfinder. I'm going to use this tool called Unite, and I click it, and it's going to unite all my layers, which is really neat. Okay, it looks pretty clean. Sometimes you get these little bits of anchors in here. If you have little anchor pieces in here when you do this, you need to come in with your direct select tool and delete them. But mine came out very clean, which is great. Maybe not great for demonstration, but we should all be so lucky. So you have options to change this color. So like I said, this is going to be my dark red color. So just for the visualizing of the project, I'm just going to change it. Right? It's really, in the end, when you're physically making this, it just depends on what color vinyl you put into the machine. But for right now, visually, for my own sake, I'm making the color red. Okay, so that's my base layer. Now, we're going to go to this layer up here. So I'm going to hide this one. And I'm going to bring this one back up with my eye right here. Okay. So make sure you're on this. I want to further separate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do new layer. This one I'm going to call green. Okay. And I'll come back down to this layer. And with my selection tool, I can select the green color. And there's a little box on the side. If you grab that box, like click and drag it up, it now moves that color into the next layer. So now I have this green layer, perfect. I'm gonna hide that, and I've got this layer. But I really don't need this color anymore, this dark red, because I already have that down here. So I'm going to delete it. I also don't want this little green fleck in here. So if this was my final version, I would just come in and I'd start cleaning this up. And I'm just holding the shift key while I click this, and I can select multiple pieces at a time. Just be careful, because if you accidentally click anything that you don't want, you have to undo it all. Alright. So I could just clean this up really nice if I wanted to. And then I will layer this light red. Organization is key. You really want to stay organized. Okay, so now if I bring everything back in, all my layers are there, but in order. So I've got my base layer, on top of that my light red layer, and on top of that my green layer. But this layer is what everything will go on top of right here. And then I still got my safety layer. Alright, so that's how you do your colored version.